Have you ever wondered if there's a secret language that women's bodies speak? A language that tells you everything you need to know about their desire, long before they ever say a word. What if the key to understanding a woman's true interest isn't in what she says, but in the subtle, unconscious signals she can't control? While most men are busy focusing on a woman's words, successful men know how to read the far more honest language of her body. Think about it. A woman can easily lie with her words, but her biology simply doesn't lie. Her subconscious sexual arousal leaks out through a series of almost invisible micro-expressions, subtle shifts in her posture, and involuntary physical responses that betray her true level of desire. This isn't just about reading a person's body language, it's about understanding the deep biological reality of female sexual attraction. When a woman feels genuine lust, her autonomic nervous system triggers predictable physiological responses that she has zero conscious control over. These responses exist because, throughout our evolutionary history, women who could accurately signal sexual interest to high-value males were far more likely to reproduce successfully. But here's the critical point that most men consistently fail to grasp. A woman's lustful body language is completely different from her social politeness signals. The woman who is just being friendly, professional, or merely pleasant displays entirely different biological markers than the woman who is experiencing genuine sexual arousal. And this crucial distinction could mean the difference between you wasting countless hours chasing women who only see you as a friend, and you focusing your valuable energy on women who actually, truly want you sexually. To begin to understand this secret language, you must first grasp the biological mechanisms that create it. Sexual arousal triggers specific measurable changes in the autonomic nervous system that produce involuntary physical responses throughout her entire body. When a woman feels genuine sexual attraction, her sympathetic nervous system activates. This automatically increases her heart rate, subtly dilates her pupils, and redirects blood flow to her erogenous zones. Her body releases a cocktail of hormones that heighten sensitivity and create the undeniable physical sensations of arousal. These changes happen on autopilot and cannot be consciously suppressed. The evolutionary purpose of these subtle signals was ingenious. It was designed to communicate sexual availability to desirable males while simultaneously maintaining a layer of plausible deniability for social protection. Women who could signal interest without appearing overtly sexual were far more likely to attract high-value partners while cleverly avoiding any negative social consequences. This brilliant biological programming explains precisely why a woman's lustful body language often appears so subtle or even accidental. Her body is meticulously designed to send sexual signals that can be interpreted as genuine interest by men who are aware, while being easily dismissed as perfectly normal behavior by men who are completely unaware. This powerful dynamic allows her to test a man's sexual awareness while maintaining her social safety. Understanding this biological foundation is the key that prevents you from missing genuine sexual interest, while also helping you avoid misinterpreting simple social politeness as romantic availability. The woman who is truly sexually interested displays specific physiological markers that simply cannot be faked or suppressed. The eyes, the unconscious window to her desire. Your eyes are the most accurate indicator of sexual interest, more so than any other body language signal. Why? Because they are directly and intimately connected to the autonomic nervous system. When a woman experiences sexual arousal, specific changes occur in her eyes that she has zero conscious control over. The most reliable, irrefutable indicator is pupil dilation. Sexual arousal triggers that sympathetic nervous system activation, which causes her pupils to expand, regardless of the surrounding lighting conditions. The woman who is genuinely attracted to you will display noticeably larger pupils during your conversation, even in a well-lit environment. But here's the catch. Pupil dilation must be combined with her eye contact patterns to accurately indicate true lust. A sexually interested woman creates extended eye contact that feels fundamentally different from a normal social interaction. Her gaze doesn't just meet your eyes. It lingers for longer than is socially necessary, and it returns to your eyes repeatedly throughout the conversation, almost like an invisible magnet. A truly lustful woman will also display what researchers call bedroom eyes, a specific and unmistakable combination of slightly lowered eyelids, noticeably dilated pupils, and a soft, focused gaze that creates an unmistakably sexual expression. This occurs because sexual arousal literally reduces muscle tension around her eyes while simultaneously increasing blood flow to the area. Perhaps most importantly, a sexually aroused woman looks at your mouth frequently during conversation. This mouth-gazing behavior indicates her unconscious preoccupation with kissing and oral contact. When combined with other indicators of arousal, these frequent glances at your lips are a powerful signal of her genuine sexual interest. The key distinction to remember is that lustful eye contact feels charged with sexual tension. Unlike polite eye contact that merely facilitates communication, sexual eye contact creates a palpable, undeniable energy between you, an almost electric current. The woman experiencing genuine attraction will hold your gaze in ways that feel intimate, bold, and provocative, drawing you in without a single word. Postural changes. The body's unconscious magnet. Sexual attraction creates specific, unconscious postural changes that physically orient a woman's body toward the object of her desire. These positioning patterns occur completely unconsciously as her body attempts to maximize proximity and create as many opportunities for physical contact as possible. The most fundamental indicator is her overall body orientation. A sexually interested woman will position her body to face you directly, even in a group setting where this positioning seems completely unnecessary or out of place. Her torso, her hips, and her feet will all point in your direction, regardless of where others are positioned. Sexual arousal also affects her overall posture in very predictable ways. An aroused woman will straighten her spine, lift her chest slightly, and pull her shoulders back to display her figure more prominently and confidently. This postural change occurs because sexual attraction triggers a boost in confidence and a powerful, instinctual desire to appear physically attractive. A lustful woman will also consciously and unconsciously reduce the physical distance between you whenever possible. She might lean closer during conversation, position herself naturally within your personal space, or even invent little reasons to be physically near you. This proximity-seeking behavior is a clear indicator of her deep desire for physical contact and intimacy. Perhaps most revealing of all is how she positions herself relative to any potential escape routes. The woman who is genuinely interested in you will not position herself near exits or create physical barriers between you, like a table or a purse. Instead, she will intuitively position herself in ways that facilitate closer contact and intimate conversation. These postural patterns are incredibly reliable because they occur below her conscious awareness. A woman can control what she says with her words, but she cannot easily control her body's unconscious orientation toward someone she finds sexually attractive. Physical touch. The ultimate confirmation. Physical touch is arguably the most definitive indicator of genuine female sexual interest because it requires a conscious decision combined with her unconscious biological desire. Women who are simply being friendly rarely initiate any form of physical contact, while women experiencing genuine lust will actively seek opportunities for touch. The progression of this typically begins with accidental contact that isn't actually accidental at all. She might accidentally brush against you while walking past, let her hand linger for a moment when passing you an object, or strategically create little situations where physical contact becomes a necessary part of the interaction. These touches are often brief, but they are frequent, and they always seem to have a perfectly plausible explanation. As her comfort and arousal increase, the touching becomes more intentional and noticeably more intimate. She might casually touch your arm while laughing, playfully place a hand on your chest while talking, or make contact with areas that have no practical purpose for social interaction. These touches last just a little bit longer and occur in more intimate zones, creating a quiet but undeniable signal. An aroused woman also touches herself more frequently in your presence. She might run her fingers through her hair, touch her neck, caress her arms, or gently run her hands along her body. This self-touching behavior indicates a heightened body awareness and her unconscious desire to draw your attention to her physical form. Perhaps most importantly, she responds positively when you initiate an appropriate touch. The woman who is genuinely attracted to you won't pull away. Instead, she will lean into your touch, maintain contact longer than necessary, and even create little openings for you to touch her again. The key distinction here is that lustful touching feels charged with sexual energy. Unlike social touching that serves a practical purpose, sexual touching creates a palpable tension and a desire for more intimate contact between you. It's a silent conversation that speaks volumes. Vocal patterns. The sound of attraction. Sexual arousal creates very specific and profound changes in a woman's vocal patterns that she cannot consciously control. These vocal modifications occur because sexual excitement affects her breathing, muscle tension, and hormone levels, which all directly impact her speech production. The most noticeable change is a shift in her vocal pitch. Sexual arousal causes muscle relaxation that actually lowers her vocal pitch, creating a huskier, more breathy quality in her voice. The woman who is genuinely attracted will speak in noticeably lower tones than her normal conversational voice. Arousal also affects her speech pace and rhythm. A sexually interested woman will speak more slowly and deliberately, creating subtle pauses that feel charged with sexual tension. Her speech patterns can become more rhythmic and hypnotic as her breathing deepens and her body relaxes into a state of arousal. A lustful woman also uses vocal volume to create a sense of intimacy. She may speak more quietly, forcing you to lean in closer to hear what she's saying. This reduction in volume creates a feeling of a private conversation, even in a public setting, and naturally increases your physical proximity. Perhaps most revealing of all are the unconscious vocal sounds she makes. An aroused woman will sigh more frequently, make soft murmuring sounds during conversation, and produce subtle, breathy exhalations that are a clear biological indicator of sexual excitement. These vocal behaviors occur because sexual arousal directly affects her breathing patterns and her emotional state. A sexually interested woman also laughs differently. Her laughter becomes more genuine, lasts longer, and occurs more frequently. This happens because sexual attraction creates an elevated mood and increases her responsiveness to humor and pleasure. Hair manipulation, the primal display. Hair manipulation is one of the most reliable and telling indicators of female sexual interest because it serves multiple biological functions related to attraction and arousal. When a woman experiences genuine lust, she will unconsciously display her hair and neck in ways specifically designed to attract male attention. The most common behavior is hair touching and stroking. A sexually aroused woman will run her fingers through her hair, playfully twirl strands around her fingers, or smooth her hair repeatedly. This behavior not only draws your attention to her hair, but also unconsciously releases pheromones from the oils on her hands and scalp. Neck exposure is equally significant. A lustful woman will tilt her head to expose her neck, pull her hair to one side to reveal more skin, or gently touch her neck while she's talking to you. The neck contains major blood vessels and erogenous zones that become more sensitive and visually prominent during sexual arousal. Hair flipping and tossing behaviors are a powerful indicator of a high level of sexual confidence and a strong desire to attract attention. The woman who is genuinely interested will make dramatic, dynamic hair movements that draw your eyes to her face and create a mesmerizing visual interest. A sexually aroused woman also cleverly uses her hair to create intimate moments. She might lean forward so her hair falls around both of you, creating a private, secluded space just for the two of you, or she may position herself so you can catch the subtle scent of her hair. These behaviors skillfully leverage hair's powerful sensory impact on male attraction. Most importantly, these hair and neck behaviors occur in recognizable clusters rather than in isolation. The woman experiencing genuine lust doesn't just touch her hair once. She will engage in repeated hair manipulation throughout your entire interaction. Breathing and pulse, the unmistakable signals. Sexual arousal creates very specific, involuntary changes in a woman's breathing patterns and pulse that she simply cannot consciously control. These physiological responses provide some of the most reliable indicators of her genuine sexual interest because they are produced by her autonomic nervous system activation, completely bypassing her conscious mind. The most noticeable change is in the depth and pace of her breathing. Sexual arousal causes deeper, slower breathing as her body instinctively tries to oxygenate tissues and manage her increased heart rate. You can observe this through the subtle movements of her chest and the rhythm of her speech. Changes in her pulse rate are also detectable through careful visual observation. Sexual arousal naturally increases her heart rate, which can become visible through the pulse points in her neck, wrists, and temples. The sexually aroused woman will display a stronger, more rapid pulse that you can visibly observe during close conversation. Arousal also affects her breathing patterns during speech. A lustful woman will take deeper, more deliberate breaths before speaking, sigh more frequently, and produce that breathy, husky vocal quality we discussed earlier. These changes occur because sexual excitement affects her respiratory control and vocal cord tension. Flushing is another powerful, involuntary indicator of sexual arousal. The increased blood flow causes noticeable color changes in her face, neck, and chest area. The sexually interested woman will develop a subtle, healthy glow or a soft blush that's particularly visible in good lighting. These physiological indicators are most reliable when they all occur together. The woman experiencing genuine sexual attraction will display multiple involuntary arousal signs simultaneously, creating a very recognizable pattern of biological responses that is impossible to ignore once you know what to look for. Behavioral synchronization, the dance of connection. Finally, sexual attraction creates an unconscious behavioral synchronization between partners as their nervous systems begin to coordinate with each other. This mirroring behavior is a powerful sign of genuine connection and mutual arousal that goes far beyond simple social interaction. The sexually interested woman will unconsciously mirror your body position, your gesture patterns, and your movement rhythms. She will instinctively adopt similar postures to yours, match your energy levels, and coordinate her movements with yours. This synchronization happens below her conscious awareness, but creates a noticeable, harmonious behavioral harmony. Breathing synchronization is particularly significant and intimate. The woman experiencing genuine lust will unconsciously coordinate her breathing rhythm with yours during a close conversation. This creates a powerful sense of connection and intimacy that feels different from normal social interaction. Vocal mirroring also indicates sexual interest. An aroused woman will adopt similar speech patterns, match your vocal volume and pace, and even unconsciously repeat your verbal expressions. This vocal coordination creates a conversational flow that feels incredibly natural, effortless, and engaging. Movement synchronization becomes most apparent when you are walking or changing positions. The sexually interested woman will instinctively match your pace, coordinate her movements with yours, and create a physical harmony that facilitates continued interaction. These are just some of the subtle yet powerful signals that women's bodies send when they are truly interested. These powerful mirroring behaviors are reliable indicators because they occur completely unconsciously and require a deep, genuine attraction to manifest. The woman who is merely being polite or friendly simply does not display this level of precise behavioral coordination. But here's where things get really, truly dark. When a woman experiences genuine lust, she begins displaying innate territorial behaviors designed to mark you as her target and fiercely discourage other women from even daring to compete for your attention. These behaviors are a raw and primitive biological drive, a fascinating glimpse into the core of sexual attraction. The most obvious territorial display is her positioning herself between you and other attractive women. She will subtly, or not so subtly, create physical barriers that actively limit other women's access to you while maximizing her own proximity and opportunities for physical contact. A sexually interested woman will also engage in subtle, yet fierce, competitive behaviors when other women are present. She will suddenly increase her physical displays, become more touchy and affectionate, and rapidly escalate her sexual signaling in an effort to outcompete her potential rivals. Territorial behaviors can also manifest as visible jealousy. A woman who experiences genuine lust will show visible discomfort and emotional turmoil when you interact with other attractive women. She might become quiet and withdrawn, or conversely become more aggressive and attention-seeking in her behavior toward you. A lustful woman also begins talking about future interactions and making plans that pointedly exclude other people. She will suggest activities you can do just the two of you, talk about places she wants to go with you, and create new opportunities for private, intimate interaction. These behaviors are significant because they require an emotional investment that goes far beyond a casual social interaction. The woman who is merely being friendly feels absolutely no need to claim territory or compete for your exclusive attention. Physical presentation, the conscious and unconscious glow. Sexual arousal naturally motivates women to enhance their physical presentation in ways specifically designed to increase their sexual attractiveness. These modifications occur both consciously and unconsciously as her body and mind prepare for a potential sexual interaction. The most noticeable change is in her clothing adjustments. A sexually interested woman might subtly pull down her shirt to reveal a little more cleavage, adjust her skirt to show more leg, or even remove layers of clothing to display more skin. These adjustments may seem casual, but they serve a clear and powerful purpose: to increase her sexual appeal. Posture modifications are also key to enhancing her sexual presentation. An aroused woman will instinctively arch her back to emphasize her curves, tilt her hips forward to accentuate her figure, or position herself in a way that shows off her best physical features. These postural changes create a more sexually appealing silhouette. A lustful woman also increases her physical grooming behaviors. She may apply lipstick more frequently, check her appearance in mirrors or on her phone, and make small adjustments to enhance her attractiveness. This grooming behavior indicates a heightened body awareness and an intensified desire to appear sexually appealing. Jewelry and accessory manipulation also become more pronounced. She might play with a necklace to draw attention to her décolletage, remove and replace earrings to highlight her neck, or adjust bracelets to emphasize her wrists and hands. These presentation modifications are incredibly reliable indicators because they require a conscious, deliberate effort directed towards sexual appeal. The woman who is not sexually interested simply doesn't invest this kind of energy in enhancing her attractiveness during an interaction with you. The final word: don't just listen, see the signals. If you're recognizing these powerful, primal patterns in your interactions with women, if this analysis is revealing signals you've been missing or tragically misinterpreting all this time, then this is your wake-up call. Your journey to a more successful and fulfilling life with women starts right now, with awareness. I want to thank you for sticking with me until the very end of this revealing video. Your engagement helps ensure that these vital conversations continue and that more men can finally start understanding the undeniable biological realities of female sexual attraction. If you found value in this video and you're ready to master this powerful knowledge, please hit that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to join our community of men who are committed to understanding the subtle yet powerful dynamics of attraction. And for your final challenge, comment below "I see the signals" to show you've watched it all the way to the end and are ready to apply this new wisdom in your life. Thank you for watching. And remember, the most attractive thing a man can possess is genuine awareness and unwavering confidence. See you in the next video. Sexual attraction motivates women to subtly violate normal social space boundaries in their desire to create physical intimacy. These proximity behaviors are a key indicator of genuine sexual interest, because they require overriding years of social conditioning about appropriate interpersonal distance. The most obvious indicator is her consistent movement into your personal space. A sexually interested woman will position herself closer than social norms dictate, even when there's plenty of space available. She will intentionally create reasons to be within intimate distance of you during a conversation. A lustful woman also creates opportunities for shared space that feels private and exclusive. She might suggest moving to a quieter area, position herself in corners or alcoves where you are partially hidden from others, or simply create an intimate conversational bubble in a public setting. Sitting behaviors also reveal her sexual interest through proximity choices. An aroused woman will sit closer than necessary, choose seats that facilitate physical contact, and position herself so your legs or arms can touch during a conversation. A sexually interested woman will even subtly invade your space through object placement. She might place her purse, phone, or other personal items near you, creating territorial markers that establish her presence in your immediate environment. These proximity behaviors are significant because they require overriding deep-seated social conditioning. Women are taught from a young age to maintain respectful space boundaries, so these violations are a definitive sign of genuine sexual motivation. Oral behaviors, the primal connection. Sexual arousal triggers specific oral behaviors that relate to primitive feeding and nurturing instincts connected to our reproductive biology. These behaviors provide reliable indicators of genuine sexual interest because they occur well below conscious awareness. The most common behavior is an increased attention to food and drink consumption. A sexually aroused woman will become more sensual in her eating and drinking behaviors, making direct eye contact while consuming items and subtly drawing attention to her mouth and lips. Lip behaviors become particularly pronounced during sexual arousal. A lustful woman will lick her lips more frequently, bite her lower lip, or gently run her tongue across her lips. These behaviors occur because sexual excitement increases blood flow to the lips and creates heightened sensitivity. A sexually interested woman may also engage in symbolic oral behaviors with objects. She might suck on a straw in a suggestive way, lick spoons or her fingers while eating, or consume foods in a manner that draws attention to her oral capabilities. Drink sharing also becomes more common when women experience sexual attraction. She might offer you a taste of her drink, suggest sharing food items, or create opportunities for indirect oral contact through shared consumption. These oral behaviors are incredibly reliable because they connect to primitive biological programming related to feeding, nurturing, and sexual contact. The woman who's not sexually interested simply doesn't engage in these sensual consumption behaviors. Vulnerability and openness, the final signal. Sexual attraction also motivates women to display a unique form of vulnerability and openness that indicates a readiness for intimate interaction. These submission signals reveal her biological preparation for a potential sexual engagement. The most significant indicator is neck exposure and head tilting. A sexually aroused woman will tilt her head to expose her neck, lean back slightly to display her throat, and position herself in ways that demonstrate trust and vulnerability. Relaxed body posture indicates sexual openness. The lustful woman will adopt loose, relaxed positioning that indicates comfort and a willingness to be approached. Her muscle tension decreases, and her overall demeanor becomes more receptive. A sexually interested woman also displays open hand positions and arm placement. She keeps her palms visible, avoids crossing her arms defensively, and uses hand gestures that invite your approach rather than creating barriers. These vulnerability displays are incredibly significant because they require overriding defensive instincts that protect women from potential harm. Displaying submission and openness is a definitive sign of genuine trust and sexual interest. Conclusion: don't just listen, see the signs. Understanding women's lustful body language requires recognizing patterns rather than isolated signals. Genuine sexual interest produces multiple simultaneous indicators that create a recognizable arousal pattern. A sexually aroused woman will display eye contact indicators combined with postural positioning, touch escalation paired with vocal modifications, and proximity behaviors accompanied by presentation enhancements. These signals occur together, not in isolation. Timing is also crucial for accurate interpretation. Lustful body language appears quickly after initial interaction and intensifies throughout continued engagement. The woman experiencing genuine attraction doesn't gradually develop these signals. They appear early and strengthen with continued contact. Context also matters for distinguishing sexual interest from social politeness. Professional settings may suppress sexual signaling, while social environments facilitate more obvious displays. The key is recognizing clusters of indicators that occur simultaneously and intensify over time. A single signal might be ambiguous, but multiple coordinated indicators provide definitive evidence of genuine sexual attraction. Most importantly, these signals require your own sexual confidence to interpret accurately. Women's lustful body language is often subtle and requires masculine awareness and experience to recognize and respond to appropriately. Understanding this provides a strategic advantage that separates successful men from those who constantly miss sexual opportunities. This knowledge allows you to focus energy on women who are genuinely interested while avoiding wasted time on those who aren't. When you recognize genuine sexual interest, you can escalate the interaction confidently rather than hesitating or overthinking her responses. The woman displaying multiple arousal indicators wants you to respond to her signals. This understanding also prevents you from pursuing women who are merely being socially polite. The woman who doesn't display sexual arousal indicators isn't sexually interested, regardless of how friendly or engaging she might be in conversation. Sexual intelligence allows you to calibrate your approach based on her arousal level. Most importantly, recognizing sexual interest builds your confidence and reduces approach anxiety. When you can accurately read female sexual signals, you know when you're wanted rather than guessing or hoping. The fundamental truth about women's lustful body language is that it reveals biological reality rather than social conditioning. When a woman experiences genuine sexual attraction, her body produces involuntary responses that cannot be faked or suppressed. This knowledge protects you from wasting time and energy on women who aren't genuinely interested while helping you recognize and respond to those who are. Sexual intelligence is the difference between success and frustration in romantic interactions. The choice is yours. Continue missing obvious sexual signals while pursuing women who aren't interested, or develop the awareness that allows you to recognize genuine sexual opportunity when it presents itself. Your romantic success depends on understanding the difference between social politeness and sexual attraction. Women's bodies will tell you everything you need to know if you're intelligent enough to read the signals.